Here's an AMI This Week shortcut with Alex Smyth.
Welcome to Animal Class.
There's no doubt it's that birds of a feather flock together. Well, I'm at the Toronto Zoo to find out if that's true. I'm joined by zookeeper Steph outside of the flamingo habitat. Steph, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Alex.
So is it true that flamingos like to flock together, and are they kind of a big group social animal?
They absolutely flock together. So we have a flock here of 16 birds, but in the wild you can actually find flocks of up to thousands, whether they're on land together or whether they're migrating.
That's awesome. And can you walk me through a bit of the distinctive features? The flamingo is quite striking. You know, it has a lot of unique features that you don't find in a lot of animals. Can you kind of tell me a bit about what it looks like and how it gets its shape and color?
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe we'll start from the ground up. So flamingos have extremely long legs. Out of any bird, really any wading bird, they do have the longest legs. What that's for is that actually gets them into environments that other animals, other birds aren't able to find food in. Now, because they're able to wade in much deeper waters, they're able to find food sources that other animals can't. They also have flippered feet, so that is meant for actually bringing up organisms from the mud underneath the water. So mudflats, estuaries, ponds is where they spend most of their time finding food. And if they kind of flap their feet around, just like the feet that you find on a goose or a duck, they're bringing up those organisms that they can filter feed as they're eating. Like other flighted birds, their bones are hollow, so it's quite deceiving. They're quite tall, big birds. Like if you were to stand in front of them, they would probably reach like chest height. So they can actually be a little bit intimidating if you're close to them. But these guys only weigh about 4 to 6 pounds. You might look at them and say, oh, I bet you any money that bird would weigh 20 to 30 pounds, but they don't. Most flamingos that you would see in the wild, well, the Caribbean flamingos are crimson or pink in color. Now, they're not born that way, so they're actually born a grayish color, and they get that coloration from the carotenoids that they eat. So from the algae, the diatoms, the invertebrates that have that carotenoid color, and so they get it from their food source.
That's really awesome. And continuing as we work up the flamingo, the neck is so striking to me because it's so long and they're able to be so flexible with it. When they're resting, they seem to like wrap it around themselves. Can you tell me a bit more about their neck?
Yeah, they do wrap it around themselves. Really, I mean, the fact that they wrap it around themselves when they're sleeping is likely just a comfort thing. The neck, the biggest purpose of their neck is actually for feeding. Because they have such long legs, they need that long neck to reach the water. And at the end of that long neck, they have a bill, which they invert in the water while they're feeding. So they hang their heads upside down and move it from side to side. And they're filtering through the water, and they're getting rid of anything that's not edible by filtering through and ingesting the things that they do want to eat.
Can you talk a bit about how they are as a social animal? You know, as you said, the packs and the groups can be quite large. So yep. What are they like? What are the animal dynamics like for a flamingo?
Yeah, so they are mostly monogamous. That said, that they can change partners from year to year, and they will have friendships within that group as well. So even if they're not paired up with a mate, they do have best buddies, and they do have a hierarchy as well. So even if you had a flock of hundreds or even thousands of birds, they have their methods of communicating where they all know where they all stand. Best friends will defend other best friends, and of course it's safety in numbers as well, right? So the larger the group, the more comfortable they are, and the more likely they are to be successful in breeding and everything.
That's awesome. Now I have noticed a few calls coming from behind us from the flamingos. Mm-hmm. Do they use vocalization quite a bit? Is it a warning? Is it a communication? Like what are they doing when they vocalize?
Yeah, absolutely. They vocalize for different reasons. They're gonna warn as a group. If there is a threat, they're gonna vocalize. They're gonna tell each other off by vocalizing. They're gonna draw one another in. They're gonna say that there's another flock of flamingos nearby. But they certainly are quite noisy.
Well, Chef, thank you so much for taking the time and teaching me something new about the flamingos. I've learned a lot, so I can't wait to come back and check them out again.
I always love talking about these guys, and I encourage everybody to come see our flamingos here at the Toronto Zoo.